Hello everyone, we are back again with our latest video on SQL tutorial Vikacho by Vikacho groups. So basically in this particular video we are going to discuss top 20 most asked SQL Server query based interview questions. Okay, so basically for this particular session we have created one table, employee table, on which we are going to perform each of our queries. Okay, so let's check the table, what columns we have in this particular table. So basically we have here the employee ID, employee first name, employee last name, employee mail ID, date of joining, department, and employee salary column. Okay, and now move on to the PPT and check what are the questions we have. So basically this is the first set, and here the first question is write a SQL query to update date of joining to 15 July 2021 for employee ID equals to 1. Now copy this question and we will go to SSMS and check how to write the query for the same. Okay, so basically first of all we need to check what is the date of joining for the employee ID 1. Okay, so do a select star on employee table. So select star from employees. So here we have where employee ID equals to 1, where EMP ID equals to 1. Okay, now execute this. So that date of joining is 15 July 2022. 2020. Okay, now we need to change it to 15 July 2021. So basically you need to write an update statement here. Okay, so update, then table name, copy this, update table name, set date of joining DOJ equals to what we need. So year 2021, then 7th month, and then 15 July 2021, where employee ID equals to 1. Now where EMP ID equals to 1. Okay, now update this, execute this query. So the record has been updated. Now check the record, select start from employees where employee ID equals to 1. Okay, so now it is the date of joining is updated to 15 July 2021. So this is clear. Now move on to the second question. So all the questions we will perform in the same page, so that we will be able to provide you the queries also at the end of the session, and just keep the select star with you all the time. Now second question, what it is. So write a SQL query to select all employee name where employee ID is greater than 22. Okay, so copy this and then we will check the second question. Okay, move on to SSMS. So basically these questions are mostly asked for beginners, and then we will go to intermediate level, and then we will go to the means for some higher level. So basically this question, write a query to select all employees name where employee ID is greater than 22. So how it will be done? This is a simple one only. Select star from employees where employee ID EMP ID greater than 1, greater than 22. Okay, now check this and we will also do the order. So order by EMP ID. So by default it is ascending, so we will keep it as ascending, ordered by ascending order. Employee ID, execute. So we are getting all the records for those employees whose employee ID is greater than 22, 23, 24, 25. So this is clear. Now move on to the next question. So next what we have. So next we have write a SQL query to find all employees with salary between 40,000 to 80,000. So basically we need to extract the record of employees who have salaries between 40,000 and 80,000. Okay, now put this, comment it out, and then we will write the query for this. First keep the select star so that you will be in line to each of them. Execute this. Now check. So write a SQL query to find employees with salary between 40,000 and 80,000. So simply you need to use the between operator. So select star from employees where EMP salary between 40,000 and 80,000. So basically this is a numerical column, means integer column, so we don't need to put it under single quote. So that is clear to everyone, I guess. Now execute this. So see, and also we will do the order by employee salary so that we get a clear idea. So order by employee salary, descending order. Now execute this. So see, all the employees whose salary is between 40,000 to 80,000 is coming. Okay, so this is clear. Total 16 rows we have for that particular employees. Now comment this out. Now let's move on to the next question. So next what we have, write a SQL query to display full name of the employee. Okay, so basically we have the first name and last name, so we need to concat both of the tables, both of the columns to get the full name. Okay, now paste this and then select star, pick it up, select star from employees. So as you can see here, we have the first name and the last name, employee first name, employee last name. So we need to concat both of the column, and we will maintain a gap between both of the names so that the name will look fine. Okay, so write your query. Now select from employees. Okay, now what we need to select employee emp first name, employee first name, and then concat it with the emp last name. Okay, and then give a alias like alias as emp full name, full name. Okay, this is clear. Now execute this. So here we are getting the full name. Okay, but see, means both have both do not have any gap, so it is not looking, it is looking little bit weird. So we will provide a space also. So for providing a space, just concatenate one space under single quote between that first name and last name. Now execute this. So now check, it is fine. Okay, it is coming fine. So this is clear to everyone. Now move on to the next question. Comment this out. So next what we have, write an SQL query to find name of employees beginning with alphabet S. So all those employees whose name is starting with alphabet S, that we need to find out. Okay, so basically here we will use the wildcard character. Okay, copy this question and paste it. Now here it is the question, alphabet S we need to find out. So basically we are going to use the wildcard operator like. So select star from employees where employees name beginning. So first name we will check. So select star from employees where emp first name, emp first name like we need to provide beginning with S. So starting letter will be S, and after that anything will be there. Okay, so S and modulus, like S modulus. Okay, now execute this. So here we are getting the record of Sarah and Sarah, both Sarah Anderson and Sarah Smith. Okay, so this is clear. Now move on to the next question. So after this, what we have? Set 2. Okay, so the level of questions will increase one by one. Okay, so now sixth question, what we have? Write a SQL query to fetch details of employees whose first name ends with an alphabet A and contains exactly 5 alphabet in the first name. Okay, so basically here we need to find out all the employees whose name starts with A and have only 5 character at their name. Okay, so how we will do this? So we can use the wildcard character here, but here we need to use the underscore character. Okay, so write a SQL query to fetch details of employees whose first name ends with A, ends with an alphabet A and contains exactly 5 alphabet in the first name. Okay, so how to write the query? So write first the select star from employees. First we will check those employees whose name end with A. Select star from employees where, so first name na, where emp first name, employee first name like like beginning will be anything and ends at A. Okay, now first execute this. Okay, so here we have multiple names who are ending with A. Now we need only 5 characters. The name should contain only 5 characters. So how we will achieve that? So here we need to provide like underscore stands for a single character. Okay, underscore in wildcard will capture only single character. So we will provide 5 underscores. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And the fifth character is a, so only 4. Okay, so 4 underscores we have provided, so it will cover 4 places of the characters. Now execute this. So here we will get the result. Okay, so Laura has the 5 characters, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 characters, and the name is ending with A. So this is clear to everyone. Okay, now move on to the next question. First comment this. Now here we are came to seventh question. So write a SQL query to fetch details of all employees excluding the employees with first name as Michael and David from the employee table. Okay, so those we need all the records except Michael and David record. Okay, so now go plus just go on the SSMS and first check if we have Michael and David available in our table or not. So we have available. We have created the data set, so we know the data is available. Okay, so first check this. Select star from employees table where emp first name in David and first name in Michael and David. Okay, so copy this. So in the in operator you need to provide the name like names in single quote in Michael and then comma. Okay, not and, in Michael David. Okay, now execute this. So we will get all the employees whose name is like first name is Michael and David. So here we have the record of those employees whose name is Michael and David: Michael Johnson, David Wilson, Michael Grace, and David Wilson. Okay, we got this. Now 4 records are there, and in total we have 30 records. Okay, so now these 4 records we need to eliminate from our record set. Now copy this query, and then we will mention like select star from employees where employee first name not in Michael and David. Okay, and then we get our answer. So not in Michael and David. Now here execute this. So 26 rows we are getting, and all the records are there whose name don't have Michael and David, first name don't have Michael and David. Okay, this is clear to everyone. Now move on to the next question. Okay, so after this what we have? So now we have the 8th question. Write a SQL query to display the current date. Okay. So basically to get the current date, we have a inbuilt function get date, as we have already discussed in our date time function video. So you can go and check that also for a complete date time video, date time function video. Now you can write simply like for getting the current date. First paste this question here. Write a SQL query to display the current date. Okay. Now we can do like select get date. Okay, it's a SQL inbuilt function. Now here you can execute. So basically get date will provide the date in date time format, but we need current date only, not the time. Okay, so what we will use now, we will use the cast function to cast the get date to date. Okay, so select cast get date to date. Okay, as current date, as current date. Okay, now execute this. Cast get date as is missing here, as date as current date. Now execute this. So here you will get your answer. So current date is 1st April 2025. Okay, so now move on to the next one. So next what we have? So ninth question, write a SQL query to get day of last day of the previous month. So what day was at the last day of the previous month? Okay, so basically for this we need a function like on month. One second, go to SSMS and then check. Okay, so paste this question. So write a SQL query to get day of last day of the previous month. So basically this is an important question, and here we need to use multiple date and time, multiple date functions. Okay, so basically to get the last day of a month we use EO month. EO month is a inbuilt function that we can use to get the last day of the month, current month or previous month or any month. Okay, so basically first we will check the EO month function. So select EO month, EO and th EO month of get date. We will check get date, get date, and then it requires two arguments. So first is the date and second is the means which month you want. So get date and comma 0. So get date means today, this today's date month we want. Okay, last date of the today's month, of current month. Okay, last date of the current month we want. So execute this. So last date is 34. So 30th April is the last date of this particular month, April month. Okay, now we want here in our query we want the day of last day of the previous month. Okay, so for previous month we can write like -1. So here we are getting the last date of previous month is 31st March. Okay, this is clear. And now we want the day function. For day we want, we need to add the date name, and then for day we want weekday. Okay, so basically your complete query is like select, one second. So basically your complete query for this particular question is select date name. Okay, date name we want, so weekday comma. So date name require two argument, date part and then the date. So last month of the previous month, last day of the previous month. So weekday of EO month get date -1. Okay, as last date, last day, last day. Okay, so this is the exact query that you need to provide in your answer for this particular question. Okay, now execute this. What we are getting? So we are getting Monday. Okay, and now check here what we have. So for March 2025 we have 31 as Monday. Okay, so this is clear. So like this you can find out the day of the last day of previous month, and if you want the current month then you can provide here 0, and if you want the next month you can provide 1. Okay, so this is clear. So anything between these questions will be asked. So last month means next month, like April, May it's Saturday, so you can check in the date. So May, April, May the last date is 31st and it is on Saturday. Okay, so this is clear to everyone. Now move on to the next question. Keep it correct so that I will provide the correct query to you. Comment this and then move to the next question. So next what we have, write an SQL query to fetch the employee's first name and replace a with @ Okay, so basically here what we want, here we need to fetch the first name of the employee and then replace all the a available in that particular name with @. Now copy paste this question. So write a SQL query to fetch the employee first name and replace a with @. Okay, this is clear, with @. So for writing this query what you need to use, you need to use the replace function also. Okay, so this is simple only. Write like select, first check all the employees first name, select first name from, select from YW employees. So first we need to check the first name, select first name, employee first name. Okay, from employees first name we will check. So these are first name, and just check check which all character have a available. So we can use the wildcard also to check if a is available or not. So where first name like employee first name like, so modulus both side we will provide, and we are searching for a, if a is available in the name or not. So total how many records we have where a is available? So 22 rows are there. Okay, 22 records. Now copy this and write your final query. So finally we need to replace a by at the rate. So select employee first name from employees and then remove this where condition. Yeah, we can keep the where condition also, where employee first name like a, modulus a, and then here you can use the replace function. Replace, and then replace required three arguments: the string, comma, what character need to be replaced, so a need to be replaced, and by what character it need to be replaced, so by at the rate it need to be replaced. Okay, as modified name, modified modified name. Okay, now we will press enter here so that all the query will be visible in same screen. Okay, so this is your final query for this particular question. Okay, execute this, and also we will select the first name so that we will get a clear idea. Okay, like what is replaced and what is the exact name. So employee first name also we will select. Execute this and check the record. So here you can see all the a in the names has been replaced by at the rate. Okay, and all the first name we are displaying. Okay, so see, in Matthew also I'm at the rate thu. Okay, so this is clear. Now move on to the next question. So after this, what is the question? So set 2 is completed. Now move on to the set 3. So next question is write an SQL query to fetch the domain from an email address. So this is a must coming question. It will come must. Basically, you need to fetch the domain name from the email IDs. Okay. So now, and this particular question will require multiple function like substring, char index, and length function, because we are going to make it automated, means dynamically we need to replace all the names. So basically what you need to do, you need to replace all the domain from email address. So first check what record we have. So select star from employees. Now execute this. So you can see employee mail ID we have jason.smith at the rate abcachogroup.com. So basically we need to fetch at the rate abcachogroup.com, means domain name, from all the employee names. So how we will do this? So for doing this you need to use multiple functions. Like first of all you need to remove like this. You can, I will show you the query directly. Okay, so basically first of all you need to check for substring. So select substring. So substring required three argument. First, what will be the means string, and then the starting position, and then the number of digit you want to cut from that particular string. Okay, so our string is employee mail ID, comma, and then our starting position is, so starting position will be our, see this, so char index of at the rate. Okay, so char index will provide you the position of a certain character. So we are going to check the character of at the rate here. Okay, okay, so now use the char index to find the position of at the rate. So we are going to find the position of at the rate. So char index index, char index. So char index required two arguments or three arguments also you can provide, but third argument is the optional. So here we are going to find for at the rate position, what it is, and then from where, from the string employee mail ID. Okay, so this is one thing. Now char index, char. Okay, h is missing here. So char index we are finding for the employee mail ID, and then what we need, till how many digits we want. So we want till all the length minus this position, minus from before at the rate we want, before at the rate, means after at the rate we want all the things, and also the at the rate. So basically how it will be written, so our number of digit will be length of employee employee mail ID, length of employee mail ID, and then in that subtract. Okay, take it in a separate line so that all will be visible. So okay, so here we want the at the rate this position minus this position. Okay, try this first. So one second, let it take in separate line as modified name, modified name, and the modified name same column, and then execute this. What record we are getting? So column employee invalid, column employee mail id. Okay, from table name we have not mentioned from which table we want the record. So from employee table, from employees. Okay, so be careful while writing any query. So, means mark that everything you have checked or not. Execute this. So we are getting at the rate abcacho.co. So m is missing. So m, how it will come? So we need to subtract 1 from this at the rate position, so that we will capture all the length. Okay, so minus 1. Okay, now execute this. So see, minus 1 or plus 1 plus 1. Okay, okay, so you got the answer. So basically how it is working, I will explain this also to you. So now basically what we have done, we have first found out the char index of at the rate. So first check for char index for at the rate. Okay, and so char index, what it is providing, select char index of at the rate from employees. Okay, paste this, execute this, and the email id column also we will take, so that we will get a clear idea what we are getting and what is being left. So execute this. So basically see here, we are getting the position of at the rate. So in John Smith at the rate, what is the position of at the rate? So count here, 1 2 3 4 and then dot 5 6 7 8 9 10 and 11. So 11th position we are getting from here, and substring required 3 arguments. First is the string value, then second is the from where you want to start, and the third value will be how much digit you want to capture from the string. Okay, so by this we are getting the position of at the rate, and by length what we are getting, the length of the full string. Okay, now mention here also take the email id column, so that you will get a clear idea of that. So email id, paste it. Now execute this. So see here, we know this position, so this is the 11th position, and then so for this one we will do first, and then we will explain for others. Okay, so if you want to remove from John Smith at the rate abcacho.com, so how you will do? So first you will select select, then you will do the substring. Okay, substring, and from 11th position you want first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10. So 11th position, starting position will be 11th. So starting position it is also taking. So 11th position you want the record until how many records you want? So you want till first, second, you want till the end. So at the rate is coming at 11th position, then 12 30, how many characters you want? Okay, so count from here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17. So total 17 character you want. Okay, starting from 11, total 17 character we want. So when you execute this, so here you are getting the domain name. Okay, so basically to make it dynamic so that it will work for each of them, because if you can see here, so here we have different name. For Jane Doe we have the at the rate position at first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth position. Okay, so by means we don't know the exact place of at the rate, so we will use the char index for dynamic execution. So we have used the char index for knowing the position of the at the rate, and starting from this position, how much length we want, how much characters we want, the length of this minus the position of this 11 plus 1 means one more position. Okay, so this particular query is clear to everyone. So like this is the final query that you need to provide in the interview answer. Okay, so by this you will find out the domain name of each and every email id that is provided to you. Okay, now move on to the next question. So after this, what we have, comment it out. Now move on to the next question. So next we have the 12th question, which is write a SQL query. So the above question is very important and it will be asked must to people from beginner level and intermediate level. It is asked must. Okay. Now 12th question. Write an SQL query to update the employee names by removing leading and trailing spaces. Okay. So basically if you get some data like this, so select, if you get an employee name like this, select, and it has some forward spaces like space abh abhinav, and then backward space also. Okay, so if you get some record like this, now first copy the question. So you need to remove, basically remove the leading and trailing spaces. For that we need to use the ltrim rtrim, or basically we can also use the trim function. Okay, so both we can use either ltrim rtrim or either trim function. So basically those are used to, ltrim is used for removing trailing spaces and rtrim is used for removing leading spaces, and trim is used for removing both trailing and leading spaces. So basically if you have a data like this, now execute this. So basically you can see here you have the space forward also, backward also. Now how you will execute? So first find out the L trim to remove the leading spaces. Okay, so keep it also and create a new query so that you will get a clear idea about this. So first find out the L trim to remove the leading spaces. L trim of this particular name, and then on top of that, so what L trim is providing? So first select this. So see, ltrim has replaced the spaces from the beginning, and now remove the spaces from back, means trailing spaces. Use rtrim, rtrim, rtrim on top of this ltrim as modified name, modified, modified name. Okay, so this is your final query. So this also you can use. So see here, now we don't have ltrim rtrim from now as, so execute both of them once. So see here, copy this and check this. So see here we don't have any space at the beginning and at the end, but when you copy this particular and then put it under single quote, then see you have both leading and trailing spaces. Okay, so either you can use this particular query, select rtrim ltrim for that particular name column. If you have employee name column, so basically we don't have any record like this, so that's why I'm showing it in a separate example for this. And now either this is used or you can use this also, just directly use trim. So trim will replace spaces from both sides, right and left both. Okay, so trim in one go you can use, and this particular also we will take so that we will get a clear idea. We can use this, execute this. So here the bracket is opening. Okay, now execute. So see here we have at the first we have both places spaces, and in the second record we don't have any space, and the third record also we don't have any space. To exactly find out how we can find out, we can put all of them in single quote and then we can check the answer. So copy this first one and then paste. So see here we have leading space and trailing space also. Copy the second record and then paste it in single quote. So here no space is there, and the third record, copy this and then paste this. So no space. Okay, so for this particular question you can either use rtrim ltrim or you can also use trim. So this is clear to everyone. Now move on to the next question. Okay, so next 13 question, what we have, write a SQL query to fetch all the employees detail from employee table who joined in the year 2020. So this is a simple question only. So we need to find out those employees whose joining date is in the year 2020. Okay, so basically for this what you will do, paste this question first and then comment it out. So write a select query for this first. Now select star from employees, select star from employees, execute. So we need all the employee details whose date of joining is in the year 2020. So this particular we will use a date part function and find out the year to be 2024 joining date. So the final query for this is select star from employees where doj date part of joining, date part year AR. So date part require two argument. First is the what part you want, year, month, day, and then the date. So year of date of joining equals to 2020 we want, and put it in single quote. Okay, now execute this query. Okay, now so here you are getting all the records, all the employees whose joining date is 2020, year 2020. Okay, so this is clear, and this is your final query for this particular question. So you can see date of joining is 2024, all the employees. Okay, now move on to the next question. So next what we have, 14th question, we have write an SQL query to fetch only odd rows and or even rows from the table. So both odd and even rows we will check. So we will basically use modulus function for this. So modulus, why it is used? So modulus is providing the reminder to you. So anything divisible by 2 is an even number, and anything which is not divisible by 2 is an odd number. So this particular concept is clear to everyone, I guess. Now what we are going to check, if we are receiving any reminder, then it is an odd number, and if we are not receiving any reminder, then it is a even number. So this is clear from here. So this is basically a very simple question but a tricky one. Okay, now write a query. So we need all the employees whose employee ID is odd and all the employees whose employee ID is even. So first we will check for even employees. Okay, so select, now write your query, select star from employees below YWS employees where emp id modulus 2 is equals to 0. So if the reminder will come 0, then that is a even record. Okay, so this is the list of all even members. Okay, so even records we can mention here in comment, even rows. Okay, execute this, and then also we can order by employee ID so that we will get a clear idea. So order by employee ID, emp id. Okay, and ascending we are ordering. Now execute this. So see here you are getting all the records, all the even records. So 2, 4, 8, 6, 10, 12. And now for even record, for odd records, what you need to do, so modulus value should not be equal to 0, because it must provide some reminder, it is not divisible by 2. So just change this query to equals to 0 to not equals to 0. So basically we can use this greater and smaller size, greater than less than sign for not equal to, and also we can use this particular sign, exclamation mark equals to. So this is also representing not equal to. Okay, but the modern fashion is like this, greater, less than, greater than. So basically you can use this not equals to 0. So employee ID modulus not equals to 0, order by employee ID. Now execute this. So here you are getting all the employees, all the odd employees. Okay, so 1, 3, 15, 11, 13. Okay, so this is clear to everyone. Now here mention that odd rows. Okay, now comment this out and move to the next question. Okay, so our next question is 15th question. So write a SQL query to create a new table with data and structure copied from the another table. So basically here what we need to create a duplicate table that has similar data and structure of that of a employee table. Okay, so we will use the employee table only here in this case. Press enter so that you will get. So write a SQL query to create a new table with data and structure copied from another table. Okay, so here we will take the employee table and create a backup for this. So select
star from employees. So employees, first check our original table what we have. So here we have the 30 rows, and this is the structure: employee ID, employee first name, last name, mail ID, date of joining, department, and employee salary. Now to create a duplicate table similarly like this, we will use select star into operator we will use here. Okay, so your final query will be like select star into, and this will, you will provide just the table name, and it will create a same table with that name, which have the same data and same structure of that of employee table. So select star into employees backup, we will keep the name employees employees underscore back back, which is the backup table, and we are selecting from that of employee table employees employees table. Okay, so if you check here in the database, we don't have any table like employee back, but when we execute this particular query, so execute this, 30 row affected, and now when you do a select star on employee backup, you will get the same records as that of employee and the same structure. So select star from employee backup. Okay, execute this. So see 30 rows and all the structure is same: employee ID, employee first name, last name, mail, date of joining, department, and employee salary. So this is your final query for this particular question. Okay, and when you refresh the tables here, then you will see employee backup table has been created to your database also. Okay, so this is clear to everyone. Now move on to the next question. Comment it out. Okay, so set 3 is completed. Now last set, which is set 4. Okay, so here what is the first question? 16th question: write an SQL query to create an empty table with the same structure as some other table. Okay, so basically here we need to create the table with same structure, but that table must be empty. As we see in this case, the table will contain the data as that of employee, but here in this case we need to create a table with same structure but data should be empty. So for this, how you will write the query? Now check one. So basically for this also same structure you will use, but the where condition that you will use is little bit different. Okay, so for achieving this, we will write like select star into, so here we will create employee backup to employee underscore backup underscore empty, backup empty, empty empty. Okay, from, so same structure of employee table we will take here. So from employees, and just one thing you need to change here, like here you need to provide the where condition to 1 equals to 0, that will always be false. Okay, so it will not load any record because this 1 equal to 0 condition is false. Okay, so this is the final query for this question. Now execute this and check if our table is created or not. So execute, 0 rows affected. Now do a select star on employee back empty table. So select star from employees back empty table. Execute this. So see the structure is same: employee ID, first name, last name, mail ID, date of joining, department, employee salary, but there is no data available. Okay, so this is the final query for this particular question, and when you refresh here, you will find out your employee back empty table also. Okay, so this is clear to everyone. Now let's move on to the next question. So next what we have, so next we have the write and SQL query to fetch top 3 highest salaries. Okay, top 3 highest salaries we want. So basically this is also very important question. This is very simple but a little bit tricky. Means most of the beginners will do incorrect thing in that particular case. So simply you need to mention here, you just need to fetch top 3 records and then order the salary by descending. So you will get the highest 3 salaries. So how it will be written? The query for this is select top 3 star from your table, which is employee table, employee, and then order by employee salary, emp salary,
and then order it by descending, because we want the top three highest salaries. And if we want the top three lowest salary, then same query, but the order should be ascending. Okay, first check the three highest salary, execute this. Then you can see here all the employees who have top three highest salaries. So 1,40,000, 1,20,000, and 1 lakh. Okay, and now if you need the same requirement, but here you need to find the top three lowest salary, then how you will do? Copy the same query, but the ordering will be ascending. Okay, ASC if you do, then you will get the record of all employees who have the lowest salary, top three employees who have the lowest salary. Okay, so 15,000, 21,000, 25,000. If you execute both of them simultaneously, then you will get both highest salary record also we are getting here, and both lowest salary record also we are getting. So 1,40,000, 120, 1 lakh, and then the lowest 15,000, 21,000, and 25,000. And here you will check the details of the employees also. Okay, so this particular question is clear to everyone. This is a very important question, but basically most of the people will do mistake in this particular question also. Okay, now move on to the next question. So next what we have, 18th question. So find the first employee and last employee from the employees table. So basically in this question we need to find out the employee with email id 1 and the employee with email id 30, employee id 30. Okay, because 30 records in total we have. So how you will write this query? So this is also a little bit tricky query. So basically comment this out and write the query for this. So first of all we need the first employee. So for first employee you can write like select star from employees. Okay, so select top one record we want, star from employees, order by emp, order by employee id ascending. Okay, so here you will get the employee id with employee id 1, employee with employee id 1. Okay, and now we need the employee with employee id 30. So this query will be select top 1 star from employees order by emp id, order by emp id descending. So by doing descending, what you will get? You will get the employee with employee id 30. Okay, now we need to join both of them. So how we will join? We will use union all. Okay, so union union all, union all operator we will use. But basically if you execute like this, then one error you will get. Now check the error. So basically what? Incorrect syntax near keyword union. So basically what is the thing? We cannot perform order by while we are doing the union. So for this you need to put these queries under a means alternate table we will, or you can say alternate table we will create for this. So what we will do like this? So select star from this table from which, so we will consider this particular query as a table, so it is also called the derived table. Okay, now select star from a, you can mention here. So if you execute this, what you are getting? You are getting the same employee with employee id 1, but here we are not using the order by clause. Okay, and now for here also you will write like select star from this particular query. Okay, now both will act as a derived table in itself. Okay, execute this. So here you are getting the employee with employee id 30. Now when you perform the union all on this particular derived tables, then you will get no error. Now execute this. So here we are getting the employee with lower what the first employee also we are getting, and then the last employee also we are getting. Okay, so this is the final query for your question. Okay, so this is clear to everyone. Now move on to the next question. And next question what we have, write an SQL query to get the count of records in a table. Okay, so this is a very simple query. So basically we need the count of records in the table. So just use the count function. First copy this question Okay, now paste this. So this is very simple. So we just need to select the count star from employee. Okay, so select count star as count of record, count of employee as count of record, we can say. So you need to count records, records, count records from employee, employees table. Okay, so this will provide you the total count of the table. So these questions generally are very simple questions, and these are asked to beginners only. And also at sometimes for intermediate level also it can be asked, if the means interviewer wants to check your basic skills, then in that case it is also asked. So this is clear. So select count star from employee table. This is the final query for your this question. Write a SQL query to get the count of record in a table. Okay, now move on to the last question of today's video. So which is write a query to fetch the department wise count of employees sorted by department count in ascending order. Okay, so this is also a little bit tricky, but it is also a simple question. So basically here you want the count of employees department wise count we want. Okay, so basically department wise count of employees sorted by departments count. Okay, so sorted by department count in ascending order. So how we need to use group by clause. Okay, so first we need to use this select. So we need to select the department first. Select from employees table. The first column that you want is the department column. So select DEPART department, comma, we want the count of employees as per department. So count, we can do count for employee ID, EMP ID. Okay, as employee count, EMP count, employee count. And now we need to group our records by department. Now group by department. This is not end yet. Then we need to use the second part. So sort by employees sorted by department count. So sort your records by department count. So count of employee ID, we need to order our record by order by order by the count of employee ID. Okay, now execute this. So here you will get your final query. So see, we get the record count, employee count by department. So 5 records in IT department. CS we have 12 employees, HR we have 13 employees, and our record set is ordered ascending by department count. Okay, so this is the final query. Okay, so now this particular session has been completed, and many more videos like this are going to come. Many more interview questions like theoretical questions we will also going to cover, and many other videos are also going to come. And basically we are also planning to create a master series for SQL Server database, so that you will get a full detail of how to work in SQL Server, how to become a SQL Server developer, how to become a database developer, and database analyst, database architect also you can choose that profile. Also database engineer also you can use, data engineer, data scientist. So for all of them that particular video will be, that particular playlist will be useful. So like, share and subscribe, and many more videos are going to come. So once we reach the milestone of 500 subscriber, we are going to launch that particular series, so that more and more people will be using that and benefit from that particular series. Thank you for watching. Thank you everyone.